by US Air. Everett swept all the awards.
And rightfully so. Jimmy Hoon, as the coaches mentioned.
There's Mike Tranghese, who was handing out the hardware yesterday, the awards that were presented. And the Huskies took the regular season trophy. I'm not sure they have enough room to take all of the awards back.
Well, they'll put them in the back room. And here's the big fella, the new long arm of the law. He won't have enough room in his house as relieved Mike Tranghese, now that the Big East is firmly entrenched, awarding one of the great players in the country.
You know, the other thing you have to consider, Daron Sheffer was the Rookie of the Year, but between he and Ray Allen, they won that individual weekly honor 8 different times.
It's amazing. Newcomers of the year, and a kid who's got some experience and finds people, a terrific talent.
We're getting set now for the starting lineups for our second quarterfinal game, the Nationwide Insurance starting lineups. Check the yellow pages for the Nationwide agent nearest you. It might be Jim Walsh from Mansfield Center, Connecticut. Our public address announcer here at the Garden is Mike Walszewski. Mike?
It's time for today's second game of the quarterfinals of the 1994 Big East Championship. And it features the 9th-seeded Redmen of St. John's against the top-seeded Huskies of Connecticut. Here are the starting lineups. First for St. John's, at forward, a 6'5" sophomore from Scarborough, Ontario, number 24, Rowan Barrett. At forward, a 6'6" sophomore from the Cameroon, number 34, Charles Midland. At center, a 6'8.5" freshman from Jersey City, New Jersey, number 33, Rashawn McLeod. At guard, a 5'9" sophomore from Brooklyn, New York, number 5, Maurice Brown. And at guard, a 6'3" junior from Elmont, New York, number 23, Derek Brown. And coach of the Redmen, Brian Mahoney. And now for the Huskies of the University of Connecticut. At forward, a 6'6" junior from Federal Way, Washington, number 33, Donnie Marshall. At forward, a 6'9" junior from Reading, Pennsylvania, number 42, Danielle Marshall. At center, a 6'7" sophomore from Alexandria, Louisiana, number 45, Eric Hayward. And at the guards, a 6'5" freshman from Ramat Nafal, Israel, number 11, Daron Sheffer. At the other guard, a 6'3" junior from Los Angeles, California, number 12, Kevin Ollie. And coach of the Huskies, Jim Calhoun.
We're ready for basketball. The Huskies and the Johnnies. The Big East tournament will continue after this word from your local station. You probably shoot it pretty well, and that's exactly what the Huskies have done. Those numbers individually are terrific. We're set for basketball. Our referee will be Jim Burr. The umpires are Mike Kitts and William Bush. We're ready to go. I think the biggest lead that either team had when they met here in the Garden earlier was maybe 4 points. It was that kind of a game from start to finish. I'd love to see that again this afternoon.
Well, for our enjoyment as well as the crowd, too.
And this crowd is revved up. No problem with the net. They discussed that string that was hanging down. They said, let's play on. We'll stop it from going in, right?
That's absolutely right. Johnny's traditional man-to-man. And this club can shoot the nets out.
Danielle touches it for the first time. Here's Donnie Marshall. He's been a good three-point shooter.
Has he? Stepping out, making big shots. And does that open it up for a mismatch for Danielle down low, whoever happens to match up with him?
42% on the year for Danielle Marshall, or Donnie Marshall. Left-handed, no good.
Big rebound.
That's Midland up, and it's blocked by Hayward.
Charles works He shows up every day.
Here's Barrett from outside, shooting over Danielle. He gets his first two.
Two heady point guards, the push of Ali and the organization skills as well of Sheffer.
And the tandem of guard of Sheffer and Ali have been terrific.
And then the bench coming in with some scores. And Farron Allen, nice post up. Just
Danielle alone.
Great deployment. They just can't, size-wise, put the right or identify him with the right matchup.
And it was the game against UConn here in the Garden. It was kind of the coming-out game for Mo Brown. Really established himself as the point guard.
And Brian Mahoney's felt all year long he has been solid. Connecticut complements their full-court push with strong defensive sets.
Here's Barrett. Shot clock at 5. That one won't go. Tipped down, and Brown runs it down.
And Sheffer sort of tipped that one out, expecting a fast break. Nice look.
Mindlin has it stripped by Sheffer. The Huskies have it. Back comes Connecticut, leading by 3. Ollie pushes all the way up and in.
Can he go? He's got an afterburner, and he also had to kick out for threes as Sheffer had set up.
Here's Barrett with some penetration in the lane for a jumper off the glass. Too hard. Donnie Marshall kicks it to Sheffer. He gets his dribble back. We played about 2.5 minutes. 7-2. The early lead belongs to the Huskies.
They look very organized, don't they?
There's Ollie again, this time right-handed. Mindlin the rebound.
They're getting terrific looks.
Rowan Barrett picked up by Marshall, goes to the corner.
And Rashawn McLeod's going to have to post up strong.
Derek Brown leans in and scores.
The kiss! DB! And the reason I say that, Rashawn McLeod got bounced out by Donnie Marshall, and they got the delay of game here. Charles Mindlin suggesting he leave the ball alone.
And Charles pointing out that someone was hindering his progress.
And Mo, who's got these kids playing hard basketball. That's what you love as a spectator. It's not easy when you're struggling, your big guys down.
At the beginning of this one, as Marshall shoots again from outside, you heard the reservations that Jim Calhoun has about playing here in this building.
It's been rather good to St. John's over the years.
Absolutely. Short with that one. Hayward the rebound. Another thing that has been good for Connecticut is the center by committee. They've shuffled 4 different people in there.
And a different look with each guy. You know, Travis Knight, offensive rebounder, jump shot. Hayward, Boo, Willingham, another guy. And Kirk as well, getting some minutes later in the year.
You figure it up, that gives you 20 fouls. Doesn't shoot often, but rarely misses.
He understands the game, whether it's the pass, the lead to the goal, or the little kiss in traffic.
He has been an outstanding shooter. Picks his spots.
Been around a little bit, too, when you think playing in the Israeli league. Experienced.
Mindlin from outside, just beyond the foul line. His first basket. 9-6. The Huskies have the early lead. Played about 4.5 minutes. Semifinal game number 2. Providence over Villanova 77-66 in the opener. There is Donnie Marshall.
Wow. I was just going to say, you've got your options. You'd rather them in a half-court offense, make them work. But Marshall provides a little dimension, in or out.
Numbers favor the Redmen.
Oh, my goodness, easy.
Mindlin is really hot. He's better get control of himself or he'll be out of here.
He's going to end up getting thrown out. And I thought Hayward did a nice job trying to make sure that injury didn't occur. This is a hard giveaway. And right here, now just watch him holding on. He's trying to control. And Mindlin reacting with a tremendous amount of aggression.
He just exploded when he got up.
Something about being charged up for a game, John.
Wow. Midland will go to the foul line when things calm down.
Now they better hold on to the backboard on this free throw. And Brian, along with Alan Balbo and his guys, they've got a tee against Midland is the announcement. So he'll probably shoot his, then UConn will shoot their two and get the basketball.
But the discussion continues. Midland with his head coach, Mike Kitts, Jim Burr, have consulted. And if you're going to have an official take care of the ball game, I think Jim Burr would be the guy to do it.
Yeah, Jim has been around and has a great deal of respect. And they chase everybody from the free throw. A guy who prides himself being ready for games.
Midland will shoot two. I'm just glad there was no one sitting in that chair that kicked over there.
He took it all out on that Bob Uecker seat, didn't he?
Yes, he did. He's been a good foul shooter, 75% on the year. And somehow gets himself composed enough to make two.
So I thought he'd end up hitting the guy in the back row with the popcorn, huh?
Now, Danielle Marshall at the other end, and Hayward and Midland now. While we were on this shot, they got together, and things seem to be under control.
Just another night in Big East basketball, or afternoon in this case. Does he know how good he can become, Danielle Marshall? I don't think he realizes yet.
I think you're probably
possesses.
right. He got them both. Well, what's new? He's made 22 in a row in this building. It's 13-8. The Huskies have the lead, and we'll be back right after this. 7 to start. Midland has calmed down. It's a 5-point lead. Of course, Husky mania is everywhere in the state of Connecticut for both the men's program and the women's program.
Great year. Can't beat it, can you? 2 and 3.
The
Player
women's
of the
team
year
is
as well, huh?
in both, and they've already won the Big East women's tournament title. The
Yep.
Huskies men's team starting their bid here this afternoon.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Midland's dad is a career diplomat.
Yes.
Just asking.
Here comes Ollie into the lane. Hayward off the glass and good.
Little 2-1-2 look. Nice post up by Rashawn McLeod. And then the burst to the box.
7-point lead. That swing turned out to be in the Huskies' favor thanks to the technical. They got the 2 in the ball and added 2 more. Here comes Derek Brown, Owen Barrett, and Mo Brown. Shot clock at 2. They have to put it up now. It was blocked and knocked away by Derek Brown.
That should have been a violation. In other words, don't give them the fast break basket, and they were about to.
That's right. That was a definite violation. Travis Knight has checked into the ball game. Young man from Sandy, Utah.
And you better keep a body on him. He sneaks around and gets offensive baskets.
Danielle for 3. Good.
Brian Mahoney wants the timeout. Now he takes it off again. Yeah, they did get it.
They do get the timeout. St. John's trailing by 10 early. 14:01 remaining in the half. Back after this word from your local Big East station. 14:01 to play in the half. This copyright telecast produced by authority of the Big East Conference and is intended solely for the private non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Big East Conference is prohibited. We've taken care of the disclaimer, and right now the Huskies are taking care of the Johnnies.
And business on this end very essential for the Johnnies. They got to get a good look. Don't lose distance. Not a bad pass, and getting in the hole. Rashawn McLeod.
It's his first basket. 18-10. The Huskies have the lead and the basketball.
Look at him elevate.
Missed it. Rebound by Brown. Pushes it ahead. Here comes Barrett. He's cut off as he tries to penetrate. Down the lane, Mo Brown, reverse. Barrett has it slip out of his hands.
Nice lead.
Ollie.
Barrett on the giveaway, but a gorgeous touch pass. The loop, you can run under it. That's what's important. And Kevin Ollie, extraordinary foot speed. Unfortunate for St. John's, the slip. But look at the big guy. We were trying to say all the things on the open that he contributes. And that's another aspect. He's unselfish, has a terrific feel for which pass to deliver.
75% for Kevin Ollie during the regular season at the line. That ball slipping out of Rowan Barrett's hand is the first turnover by either team here in the first 6.5 minutes. Marshall has it knocked away after Ollie missed 2 at the line. Here's Danielle for 3.
Wow.
Danielle Marshall, second three-pointer. He has 10 already. The lead is 11.
He was in the backcourt, John, just to defend, and once the rebound came, they recognized, got the kickback pass to him. That's what Ollie does well, though, either with the dribble or that particular play.
Derek Brown, little spin move. Marshall the rebound. He'll bring it up himself. Finds Sheffer.
And look at the big guy get to the goal, too.
He just keeps going, doesn't he? In the corner, down the baseline, it's Ollie. To Donnie Marshall. Donnie has 7.
They score fast. That's what makes them devastating. Then they get back and attack you on this end.
Minland, little jump hook goes. Minland with 22 last night in the win over Pitt. Finishing up the Pitt Panthers and Paul Evans' career at the University of Pittsburgh. There's Sheffer, steps through some traffic. And Ollie from outside.
A lot of options. And the two-headed point position. And they both know how to deliver the basketball. Makes them so effective.
Combined for about 7 assists a ball game.
And Donnie Marshall trying to shove. Now look at the cushion. Ollie.
Here comes Barrett with penetration. Missed the shot. Tip goes. Good tip from behind by McLeod. 25-14. UConn has the lead. James Scott is going to check in for St. John's. We'll have a couple of new players in for the Redmen, one for the Huskies. Here's Knight, steps to the foul line.
Oh my goodness, just a little down screen. And he's magic when he gets that kind of an opening. You got to switch, slide around, trail him, mix it up on the defense. He's too good.
He has a dozen so far. The lead is back to 13. We have played 9 minutes of this opening half.
They are just trying to take away the inside game. Look at all the shirts around Minland. Tough shot.
Off the baseline, hits the edge of the glass. Long lead. Marshall to Marshall.
Well, you better leave your holster in town when those Marshalls come in. Another of those looping deliveries by Danielle, and Donnie strong send it in.
29-14. Mo Brown loses control. Here comes Donnie Marshall. Bumped as he goes inside. It does not go.
You mentioned the law firm of Marshall and Marshall. And this one, by any standards, rather lofty.
Donnie Marshall will go to the line, and he has to be, Billy, one of the most improved players in the league. A guy that when he came in, you thought he would be a spot player.
A low post kind of a guy, bang around, but now he's got an outside game. You noticed his ability to run the floor. And with that kind of body, it doesn't look like he's a sneaky jumper. Gets up.
In high school, he was a great soccer player. He has turned out to be a terrific basketball player. Made third team All Big East. He's not shy about shooting anymore.
Now, this is just a solid basketball team. You mentioned the center position. A lot of guys contribute now. King in the game, giving it a look.
We've had 3 different centers so far. Hayward, Knight, King. We'll see Willingham a little later. This is James Scott now in the ball game, along with Beckett. Carl Beckett came up big last night as well at 12. Here's Scott from outside. Won't go. Donnie Marshall.
And they get out again. A leak out.
It goes, and he'll go to the line. Nope. They called traveling. Wipe out that basket. Wipe out the foul.
Jimmy Burr was emphatic in the catch. 1, 2, 3. He was right.
No basket.
Jimmy Calhoun looking over here. I counted 1, 2, 3. He didn't like it. Well, that's why you've got an experienced guy on a game like this, but they are getting down the floor easily, John.
That is exactly right. Here's Scott. Gives it up underneath to Minland, who lays it in.
Oh, and look at this pass in. Boy, they are lucky. Danielle threw it without anybody seeing him. Kurt King looking the other way. Posting up Brown.
Sheffer does have the size advantage in that matchup. Sheffer's 6'5", and Brown about 5'9". There's Danielle again. That's 14 points for Danielle Marshall.
And he didn't have anything there. He just made that happen.
16-point lead. The Huskies have doubled it up on St. John's. Along the baseline, Minland, no place to go.
Now, Rashawn should get to the box, and they've got to give it to him. I think he can do some damage.
Shot clock inside 10 now. You see it to the left. Scott. Whew, just did.
They got it all, didn't they? Milked it and got a good one.
Here's Donnie Marshall with the other end. Rattles out. Back comes Scott. On the wing, Beckett. And he took more than 3.
Yeah, he sure did. No protest from the UConn bench on that one. When you get an opportunity, you must take advantage against a talented team like this. That could have got it to 12.
Sheffer will sit for the first time. But they were little tiny steps.
But they don't count as much, huh?
32-18. The Huskies have the lead.
Amazed at their rotation, John. Fair in as well as Allen. Good ball handler's ability to turn the corner. Sheffer takes a blow. He can knock this.
Allen straight away. Misses. Rashawn McLeod has the rebound. And there's a long look to Beckett, who got behind everybody. That doesn't happen often.
They have become a better running team of late, St. John's.
The lead is 12. Down from 16. 7:40 remaining. First half, game 2. Our Friday quarterfinal frenzy underway here at Madison Square Garden. Fair's jumper from outside.
Amazing. What's he down, about 17, 18 minutes a game? Let's see, 13 minutes a game. Averaging 8 points, good stroke, 47 from the field, 41 from 3.
The junior from Phoenix, another of the collection of state players of the year that they have gathered up there in Stores.
Donnie pushed McLeod out from the box about 4 feet.
The trap in the corner, the steal. He turned it over, though. Jim Calhoun does not agree with Mike Kitts. We have a timeout on the court. Exactly 7 minutes left in the first half. The Huskies by 14. Back after this. You're back. Jim Calhoun setting up his offense, which is rolling right now to a 14-point lead, and a resting start for the Marshalls. They are combined 9 of 13, 24 points.
Well, they are the law, and they subdued Jim Calhoun. Since the flu, I've noticed he sits a little bit more.
But not much.
When your team plays this well, you have a chance to rest.
Well, when you're 26-3, you can catch your breath every now and then.
I needed a respirator early in the season. A little zone look now, and St. John's has struggled from deep.
Lee Green in the lineup for the first time. Almost lost it. Along the baseline, McLeod just a little bit short. Now Green back up and in.
Getting back, and even on makes, you've got to turn and sprint. St. John's not seeing it all the time.
Here comes the freshman Allen. Tried to give it up. Scramble for it now. And look who has it.
Oh.
The basket will count.
They got to wipe the goal out. The push came before the explosion to the goal.
Let's see. They indicated that it was good, but now Jim Burr is going to change that.
They got an intentional foul, which is a good call. That is elevating quickly.
There is no basket. It's an intentional foul.
Now that should have been a jump ball at worst for St. John's. I mean, all of a sudden, just get down on the floor and you can see the frustration. George Felton, Ronnie Rutledge in the background there. It has not been easy for guys who are used to winning. This could be worse. This could be 5 points instead of 3.
And if you're keeping track of such things, Danielle has made 23 straight at the line in this building this year.
And I'm sure there are a few out there that are Danielle followers that are keeping track too.
16 points with 6:14 to play in the first half. It's the kind of afternoon it's been thus far for Danielle Marshall.
And a tough thing for St. John's, there's no physical presence inside.
Fair misses a 3. Back up with a left hand and good by Allen. Ray Allen from South Carolina will go to the line to complete the 3-point play.
Amazing delivery at the end of that sequence. We know him as a straight-up jump shooter. Here, fair, awry, and all of a sudden, the selection is incredible here. You see the defense on the one side. Luke makes you change the shot. Great selection.
Allen shooting almost 80% at the line in the Big East. Rims it out, but Danielle Marshall gets it back. They trap him and take it away. Sergio Luke that time wanted the pass from Green, but Lee waved him off.
And Luke in the game might be able to get a shot over the outstretched hand of Ali. Nice open shooter.
Here comes Green, gives it up to Beckett. He draws a crowd as he goes to the basket.
And that's the area that you can do some damage. If they're not going to contain the dribbler, they like to block shots. They migrate to the ball, the Marshalls generally. In that case, Hayward as well, and then dish the ball off. Look at what Florida has done to South Carolina.
The foul, by the way, the second on Eric Hayward. To the line for a couple. Nothing there for Beckett on the first. See Carl's numbers in the regular season. Minlin comes back as Rashawn McLeod goes back to the St. John's bench. 5:44 remaining in the first half. The Huskies have sprinted ahead by 16. (38-23). Here's Danielle. Comes to a jump spot and just drills it.
I mean, he actually has to maneuver those big legs around people. People get in his way, and yet he just gets up so high you can't stop that jumper unless you're as big and anticipate.
Luke inside gets the basket. His first. 40-25. The Huskies in front of the Redmen. Earlier today, Providence with an 11-point victory over Villanova, advancing to the semifinal. And they await the winner of this one. Donnie Marshall. A good ball movement that time.
It
he
sure
just didn't
was.
make the shot.
And a great screen by Danielle after his back cut.
Here comes Lee Green dancing down the lane. Luke's got a 3 on the way. No good.
They don't get back.
But Minlin winds up with the ball and the basket.
Scary for St. John's. Fortunately, the fumble occurred.
That's 10 now for Charles Minlin. Just over 4.5 minutes remaining. We're in the first half. Donnie Marshall. He is enthusiastic in his style of play, to say the least.
Look at this shot.
A 2. That's 20 points in the first half for Danielle Marshall.
One bounce, stop, pull up, open 3. The guy gets up on you. Some variety.
Impossible to stop.
Yeah, oh, extraordinary.
He is 7 of 8. Here's Luke again from the side. Too strong. Minlin. Trying to feed it down low to James Scott. Fadeaway jumper. Bending. Off. And Luke has it. Now Scott. Still can't finish, but he'll go to the line.
They lead the league in hurries. Changes. Whatever you do around that 10, you've got to change.
That's 3 fouls on Hayward, and Knight will come in for him. Jim Calhoun couldn't get him out of there quick enough.
Well, you know, as you mentioned earlier, the amount of fouls at that center spot. Talking about rebound, rebound, rebound. That state, it is amazing the more you read the papers and different dailies that cover them. Howie Dickerman had taken over there for a while when Jimmy was sick. And I think he was happy to have Jimmy back to answer the correspondence, the practice schedule. They got a pull from the rear. Well, Midland not happy with the call, but if he sees it, he's got to call it.
42-28, 3:47 left in the first half. We'll continue from the Garden. And let's watch the marshal in his office here.
Nice job here as the dribbler drives. He widens out to create the passing lane as Luke tries to search and then recover. And look at this knockdown ability. I mean, you lose or dissipate your energy when you make that quick thrust off the bounce, but he's still able to knock it down. Look at 20 with 3:40 left.
Here's Ollie, picked up by Scott. Tried to give it out to Donnie Marshall, who caught the bottom of the backboard. St. John's will come back. The Big East record for points and a half is definitely being threatened. It was 26 by Billy Donovan back in '87.
The new Marshall coach. Speaking of Marshalls, there's a plethora of them.
They're everywhere. Here's Beckett with a little jumper that goes. Mentioned Beckett had 12 last night off the bench in the win over Pitt.
You mentioned Paul Evans before. Hopefully he will get a job because he wins wherever he has been.
It's true. He'll go to St. Lawrence,
Yep.
Navy, Pitt.
And things didn't work out well there. It was an unattractive finish for him as well as, I think, the administration.
Shot clock at 15. Tyrone Sheffer will reset. 2:49 to go in the half. Here comes Sheffer on the move. Pulls up for a jumper. Knight battling for the rebound. Gets it to Don Yell. He misses. Now Knight throws it up. No good.
Too many.
Finally, Sheffer has it on the side. And he was open for that one.
Well, the little guys just hang around, and when the dirty work's done, they get the residual effect.
The biggest lead in the half has been 16. It was 32-16. Now it's 44-30.
The perimeter people are environmentally sound. Nice rejection.
Underneath, Midland has it. And that's blocked by Donyell Marshall. Then stripped by Donnie Marshall. 3-on-1.
Oh. They do give it up. And they also are going to be in need of some protection the way they chest one another. It all starts with the long arm of whatever Marshall you'd like. This time, Donyell. It ignites the break. And again, the push forward. 2 blocks on one sequence. And why not get him to the foul line? Nice reward and compliment on the dish.
For the season overall now, he has surpassed 100 blocks.
Non-plus, too, much like yourself.
And nothing seems to bother him.
No, he's seen it all, I'm sure heard it all, and in reading an article in the Washington Post, the humility is what struck Tyrone Sheffer. Because he said he was used to seeing guys in Europe that thought they were hot stuff, and he is caring and concerned about others on his basketball team and doesn't want the accolades.
He has 22 points in the first half.
Second one.
St. John's will take the timeout. They are once again down by 16. We're going to stick here and talk a little more about the Huskies. If they win this tournament, does that automatically make them a number 1 seed?
I do. I mean, everybody in the country recognizes their ability. What impressed me there, the made free throw, they get into their press. St. John's hasn't seen the on-the-ball press, and that's part of the difficulty Brian Mahoney has, recognition. They have a deep team. They are capable of winning it all, despite the committee at center. Combined, it's a good spot. It's just individually looking for somebody searching each game.
Well, you go back to 1990. That was the dream season. How about this one? it has been even better. They win the Big East by 3 games. No one had ever done that before. They've won more regular season games than they have ever won in their history. More Big East wins than anyone ever. They have gone up the ladder of the rankings on a weekly basis until they've landed in the top 5, and I think it's well deserved.
And what did Dave Sim say? The quarterfinal has been their nemesis, huh? They've been able to step forward on occasion once, I believe, and win it all there. The #1 seeding, when you think of teams, you think inside, outside. And they've got great guards, 4 of them. Usually you think 1 guard. And then up front, you figure 1 big guy. And they've got a multitude of people who can contribute, including Donnie Marshall with the jump shot. Ray Allen who can slide to the small forward spot.
And they can go 11 deep with ease and not lose very much.
And when you talk to Jimmy Calhoun, you feel like he's got a team or 2 that I had.
Here is Green. St. John's down by 16. Green spinning into the lane, gets the shot up and in.
Out of the 1-4 set, everybody paying attention to the pop-out guy. Nice move by Lee. Cheshire High Academy, excuse me.
22 of those 46 points have been scored by Danielle Marshall. Donnie Marshall has chipped in with 10.
Nice back cut. Oh, they can't get the help.
That's 24 in the first half. We still have a minute and a half to go.
You know, if it rains, I'm going to bring my family and walk under his arms.
That's exactly
and
right.
he does extend them across the lane. There's the denial with the long arm.
He poked it away, and St. John's touched it last. This is getting critical now for the Redmen.
Hanging around 16, but I look at the number of 48, and that's the tough part. I don't know if St. John's can score a lot of points. But whatever you need, step and cut. Look at him rock Sergio, who gives the wrong loop, as Danielle able to send it in.
And of course, he got the great feed from the ever-steady Sheffer, the Rookie of the Year. Ray Allen, an outstanding freshman.
Nice double down to give Sheffer a look. Just simple. Sheffer makes a pass. Oh.
That ties the Big East record for tournament points in a half.
Billy
26. 50 to 32. An amazing performance by Danielle.
Well, don't get the ball back. He's liable to break it for a half.
And the Husky fans are loving it here in the Garden. Inside, I think Willingham is going to be called for bumping McLeod.
Well, they ride a guy out of the box. I mentioned earlier, Donnie Marshall doing a good job of that. And there's the numbers you've been talking about, John.
And Danielle will sit out the final 32.6. That's just terrific, isn't it?
What a fun kid to watch play.
Thrown away. That'll go into backcourt. And it will be the Huskies with the ball and an 18-point lead closing out the half, led by Danielle and Donnie. The Marshalls seated side by side. Not related except in a basketball sense, right?
Winning sense. A terrific combo. They go 1-4. Sheffer, not the Ollie type of speed. Usually this is Kevin Ollie's play, but he will try and turn the corner and he'll screen in on Fair and Allen.
Waits till 10 seconds. Starts his move. Deep in the corner. Here is Willingham off the glass. No good. That will do it. That's the end of the first half. What a half it has been. For the top-seeded Huskies, they roar out to an 18-point lead, 50 to 32. We'll start our halftime coverage. We'll join Dave Sims in the studio after this word from your local station. Back to Madison Square Garden along with Billy Raftery. I'm John Sanders. It's been all Huskies so far. They lead by 18 at halftime, and what a dominating show it was in almost every statistical category for the Huskies in the first half.
And a lot of those the jamming type, and the three-pointers, they've got a few people that can knock them down.
Absolutely. Look at the difference in turnovers. Haven't been many by either team. The assists, of course, you look at Connecticut and the job that Sheffer has done setting people up, but it really, the first half belonged to one man, number 42.
His game, his court. his building, and the three-pointer by Danielle showing the dimension, the ever-expanding capabilities. And in the middle of things, I don't know how he got this one up. I mean, just stepping through in a reverse fashion. But without the ball, if you're a scorer, you've got to learn how to set them up, put those puppies a little jib, boom, boom, and go to the goal. And those long arms can cover a multitude of situations.
An outstanding first half, matching the record that Billy Donovan set. He scored 26 points in the second half of a game back in 1987. And the first half belonged to the Marshall. Got a little assist from Donnie Marshall, who is also in double figures with 10. For St. John's, it's been Charles Minland again. He came up big with 22 last night. He had 10 in the first half of this one. And we are ready with the second half of our second quarterfinal game. We invite you back tonight. Mike Gorman and Ronnie Perry will be here for all the action as the quarterfinals continue. The winner here takes on Providence, a winner earlier today over Villanova. Barrett in the lane has it knocked away by Marshall, but Minland puts it in.
Well, you want to be patient, but look to score in a good, sound fashion. And the one thing about UConn is they go at you both ends of the floor. So if you think you're going to delay the game a little bit, they take you out of your set. Little flare.
Here's Ollie stepping to the foul line. That was partially blocked, but a good job by Hayward. He'll go to the line after banging inside with Rowan Barrett.
Hey, John, how about the way he kept that alive to himself, Eric? I mean, good play as the mentor looks on, and Carl Hobbs says, why don't you pump fake? But just to tip it to himself showed Eric's dexterity.
Both teams going with their original starting lineups. For St. John's, Minland, Brown, Maurice Brown, Barrett, and McLeod. And for the Huskies, Danielle and Donnie Marshall, Eric Hayward, Kevin Ollie, and Daron Sheffer. Hayward had one basket in the first half, and he gets one free throw.
They will be around March for quite a while, I think, don't you?
I think so.
This is a terrific team. A lot of weapons. McLeod's got to make a quick move now. Nice little pass.
And Mo Brown all alone. That's a rare sight along the baseline against UConn.
Oh, they got the charge. Why, Donnie? Not necessary. Just put his head down and went strong to the goal.
That is his first foul.
Well, he turned the shoulder into him, though. That's what got Calhoun a little bit excited. But from our spot, it looked like the right call.
I think so.
And that's where the ref made the call from.
51-36. McLeod moves to the baseline and gives it up to Danielle Marshall.
In traffic, you've got to respond. I was thinking when Mo Brown got that goal, they could use a little momentum. St. John's.
A lot of times they'll go to the alley-oop out of this set.
Did you see it? They just defended it well, St. John's.
St. John's knew it was coming, but when he hands it off and turns the basket, it's usually coming back his way. In the lane for a jumper, bending off. Donnie Marshall tracks it down from the corner, too strong. And Derek Brown in front of Sheffer with a rebound. Here comes Mo Brown. His three on the way and good. A little spark from Brown. Did not score in the first half, as the first 5 points here in the second half.
It looks like they're going to try and push it up and get some shots early before UConn sets.
Danielle Marshall steps out.
He plays so well within the system, too. It makes him extraordinary for a great scorer.
Inside to Donnie Marshall. Here comes Danielle to the line. Goes back to the right hand and scoops it in.
It's his day.
28 for Danielle Marshall.
Good pinch.
He had 42 in this building earlier this season. And down along the baseline, we've got a foul call. I think it's on Hayward. If it is, that'll be number 4 on Eric.
Yeah, what he did was try to discard in the post area, but Danielle attacked because of the shooting ability, and right here takes the blow, softens up, and the scoop to the hoop.
St. John's under their own basket. Here comes Barrett inside, runs right into Knight. Here's Ollie.
Danielle waits to be the reverse guy.
Travis Knight, Sheffer.
Nice.
Here is Danielle. Boy, what a great feed as he hits the 30 mark.
That's what makes Sheffer special. He can really pass off the jump shot.
Minland's turnaround overnight is good. 14 for Charles Minland. 55-41. Huskies have led throughout.
Hit and pin down.
Here comes Sheffer.
He takes a hit too, doesn't he?
Stays right there for the rebound. Still misses. One more time, and this one will go. 3 cracks at it for Sheffer, and he finally put it down.
Well, you know you're in trouble because Sheffer jumps as high as I do. But he's not exploding off the floor. He's got the toe tap rebound on this one, and this shows the size or lack of it of St. John's. Deron thinking he's playing with kids on that play, and a struggle for Mo because no dominating performer up front.
The lead is at 18. 6 points, 6 assists, make it 7 points now for Sheffer as he completes the 3-point play, and now we have the biggest lead of the afternoon.
Now he's not hurting the balls of his feet when he comes down. I mean, he's not that high.
Threw it away. And Ollie. Holy cow. You all right, Billy? Wow.
That's the best move I've made in a couple of years.
Well, here's your glasses over here. Nothing's broken?
Mike Corbin checking on us, make sure everything's okay.
You okay?
Well, I always complimented Kevin Ollie on his ability to get down the floor and push. A little stoppage of plays we get organized.
Yes, let's regroup. You could see it coming, and there was nothing you could do about it.
We started and still got hit.
We were trying to get out of the way. Here's Mo Brown. Good feed to McLeod, but he lost it out of bounds.
Sure was. Well, I'll be in the locker room. I'll get you the first aid kit. I'll be back.
You clean up, and we'll be back.
Call St. Vincent's.
Right after this message from US Air. 58-41. And the MCI proof of positive replay. No, it's not the visit from Kevin Ollie, but it's another outstanding play. A beautiful pass inside. And here comes Danielle Marshall. What a game he is having.
Great look off the jumper, and he is superb. Most nights. Tonight, extraordinary.
I think we've regrouped. Are you ready now, Billy?
I think I'm ready. I've got my jaw wired.
Your TV went off. I noticed that. Redmond have the ball. 15:39 to go in the game.
Now this is what he should be doing more of. Quick and decisive. Get that confidence. The one thing I felt in talking to Brian was that McLeod would get minutes now that Chanel wasn't there, and it would help him next year. So take advantage.
His first basket in the second half. 6 points in the game so far. Knight gives it up to Sheffer. He'll reset. Here's Danielle Marshall.
I just watching Barrett off the ball. He's got a full head over him, Marshall. So he can come outside, take a look, or take him to the low post. And that's the dilemma for the Johnnies. They just can't get the proper guy guarding him.
I'm not sure there is such a
No,
guy.
there isn't.
Here's Barrett outside against Danielle. Shoots. Tipped up. Knight had it, lost it. Finally McLeod inside.
Make it ugly. That's what the Johnnies have to do. Scrap, scrape, be feistier than the opponent, and maybe some good things will happen. This is soft enough to be tippable or put backable.
And look at Sheffer sneak in there, and
Yeah,
that's when he picks up the foul.
He's a master of getting those loose balls or swiping the ball away from the opponent.
McLeod completes the three-point play. Now has 9 in the game. 5 here in the second half. He scored the last 5 for St. John's as they try to climb back. Tough to do against a team like this.
Well, as you noted, the weapons, but also the way they philosophically approach the game. You got to stay within hailing distance. They can knock down shots, and then their defense is sound.
And Danielle Marshall is on fire. 34 points.
That's like playing against us.
That's exactly right.
His vision is unimpaired. And he plays both ends, too. He's trying to take Barrett out of the game.
And Barrett gets his own rebound, follows, misses. There's Minlin. He's banged inside. Foul is called on Kirk King.
Fortunately, as we check things out here, John.
You're all in one piece?
My jacket's back at the tail. I had to have it back by midnight anyhow. But Kevin Ollie, I've been very impressed with him pushing the ball up the floor, but I'm going to have a little conversation with him pushing it in our direction.
Well, we've regrouped, except for the fact that your monitor's not working. Other than that, we're fine.
Which monitor are you talking about?
Danielle Marshall is 13 out of 16. It's hard to remember the misses. Minlin made a couple from the line in the first half. He has 14 points in the ball game. UConn very much in control. They spurted out to that lead, Billy, and they've just gone about their business since then.
Solid and purposeful, too, as they approach the tournament. Another 2 days here and a few days of work after. I think they understand how good they are and where they have to go, or how far they can go.
Well, when you're going to take it up to that next level, I think that's what you have to do.
And they'll all be shooting for him. And I think these kids are aware, #1 seed, and what it can do for you.
King outside to Sheffer.
You don't get the heavyweights right away, which is one thing. And look at this screen down and open look.
Missed the 3.
Put him on the bench. The kid doesn't understand the game.
Minlin has it knocked away. He touched it last. It belongs to the Huskies. And the UConn fans are definitely here. I also have to think there's probably a large contingent from Reading. They follow the Reading Rifle. They had a big group, a couple of busloads here when they played in January.
Well, the Rifle used to be a pea shooter. Now it is a Winchester of sorts.
There are the tournament records. Dana Barros pumped in 38 back in '89. The blocks, the rebounds. Interestingly, in that first half, they only credited Danielle with 1 block.
I think he got his chest on a few as the trap and then the giveaway foul, I believe, on Jerome Sheffer.
Just 4 points away from the Big East tournament record. And he's got to like this place.
Did you happen to see the last jumper that he missed? He looked over to the bench. He knew he didn't stroke it. Carl Hobbs was going with the follow through. Well, it's a fun atmosphere for any player. And when you're as good as he is.
And Marshall gets a block there. Here's Donnie Marshall.
Steps. Nice call. But to finish your thought, this is center ice in basketball. And stepping up in this playground has to warm even his heart.
Absolutely.
Because he does it every place.
Well, the Huskies have struggled to win here in the past, but they broke that early in the year. And a strong performance so far this afternoon. 12:50 to go in the game.
Nice play again, and that's what you have to admire about this team. They will not pack the tack. And Brian and his staff have to be commended.
Sean McLeod now with 11 points. He had 8 last night in the St. John's victory over Pitt. 62-49 right now.
And they go 2-3 zone. And look at the shooters on the wing. Right around the corner. They can all make threes. Ray Allen, Sheffer.
Sheffer's 3 is on the way. Rims out. The follow is up no good. Now Allen comes into the left hand and scores.
Too overpowering on the glass. The Tin, their king.
12 minutes to go. The Huskies looking ahead to Providence in the semifinals.
Is Providence looking ahead to them, more importantly, huh?
Yeah, what does Rick Barnes have in mind?
Well, do you recall the one game up at Providence when Ollie went wire to wire to win it?
That was the one loss that the Friars had at home, and realistically, he came away feeling they should have won that ball game.
And they played well down at UConn. Did not see that game, but recall the remarks saying that they felt very confident in that building.
A couple of free throws ahead for Derek Brown. First time for him at the line. And of course, the good news for St. John's is Zendon Hamilton, all 6'11" of him, headed their way.
Signed him the other day, and expect a good recruiting year.
1 out of 2 at 64-50. More Big East tournament basketball after a word from your local station.
Any particular thing to show that we are a great team, but I think because we've already shown that. But I do, no question, that we'd like to be playing Sunday against somebody, and we certainly would like to head down south somewhere in North Carolina in April. And I think there's about 10 or 12, 15 teams certainly capable of doing that, and I think we're one of them.
Well said. They are definitely one of them.
Fair statement. But doing it on the floor, key. Surviving and advancing. Dodging bullets, too. Occasionally one of those overtime or buzzer
exactly
beaters.
Right. You have to do it. You have a good team, you figure a way, don't you?
Or they do. Little 2-3 opting, and look at this kid pass the ball. What
Great
a nice
feed and a beautiful shot by Allen.
And was there heat on that pass? That wasn't just.
He knew what he had to do to get it in there, and he did it. 66-50. Biggest lead has been 18. Excuse me, 19 was the biggest lead. Beckett against Allen. Great player, Allen, coming off the bench. He won't be coming off the bench next year.
No, I doubt it. If he is, they're going to be back at it. Good cut again by Mo.
Blocked by Donyell Marshall. Allen had it, lost it.
And did you notice Donyell was at half court? Blocked the shot. Now he's coming back into the picture. He was ready to go, and that's what makes him extraordinary. Turning from one end to the other.
Minlin forcing it up. That'll be a shot clock violation.
Pretty good preparation by that team. UConn knew, recognized the shooter, got out on him, leaving nothing unturned.
10:45 remaining in the game. Line drive, three-pointer, no good.
Oh, bad the choice of pass.
Somehow Mo Brown did come up with the basketball. Here comes Beckett. Derek Brown nestles the three in the net.
And 13, I mean, hope they can get something out of their zone and rebound out of it. But the big thing with the three-point shot, it stretches you.
That's the second three-pointer made by the Johnnies this afternoon. Here comes Donnie Marshall, and from behind, McLeod will pick up the foul.
That's pretty quick feet for the broad-shouldered Donnie Marshall. He doesn't bask in anonymity, but he is the other Marshall on this club. But maybe the spirit of this team.
You might be right about that. Sometimes a little too spirited.
Does that mean multi-spirited, or?
He gets out of control from time to time. Very intense. An excellent foul shooter. Only missed 10 free throws all year in Big East play coming in. First points he's scored in the second half. 1 out of 2 is all he'll have to show for his trip. Allen takes it away. And Donyell Marshall saves it. Back to Fair, lays it home.
When your star hustles and gives of himself like that, everybody else has to pay attention and step up to his level.
Derek Brown, he hung up there as long as he could, and McLeod with a foul. 13 for Rashawn McLeod. 69-55. UConn in control. Here comes Marshall. Tried to go to Donnie.
And really had to pass to the corner. One of the few mistakes that we've seen him make. It was still a passing decision. He just chose the incorrect one.
The foul is on Donnie Marshall on the scramble for the loose ball as Willingham checks back in. Allen will leave. That's 2 fouls on Donnie Marshall. Donyell Marshall has not committed a foul.
Jimmy never relaxes, does he, over there lecturing Dave Lato, Carl, and Howie Dickerman? The proud tradition of this university. Names like Lapchick and Konaseka jump out at you. And Brian Mahoney, Coach of the Year last year, early on thinking they had the makings, and just a struggle in midseason, and without Chanel, they just don't have the hammer, the strength.
17 from Midland, who certainly with the absence of Chanel Scott has stepped up, along with McLeod and Barrett.
A nice little pulling of the string here. Now they run a trap. Nice screen by Willingham.
On the weak side, Brown out battles Sheffer for the rebound. Now Mo Brown will push it up. That's a 3. Carl Beckett gets the 3, and
look at we
Redmond
have
scratching back in now, down by just 9. Donyell with 36.
Well, it's my town. Martial law prevails. Get it to me.
Derrick's 3. Sheffer, look out here.
Hold on.
Here's Donyell. That'll be an offensive foul. First foul of the game on Donyell Marshall.
Maybe a little early. I can't blame Sheffer.
But you can see it develop.
Yeah, he's leading his big guy, and maybe he was afraid of D. Brown on his right, but if he kept it a little longer, maybe he would have drawn the D and then the easy finish.
Here comes Beckett. Baseline jumper way long. Here comes Sheffer again. He's got some help on the wing.
There
Finds him.
He does a lot of things, Sheffer. He had Mo Brown, checked him. The shot went up. He went down to help out on the glass, led the break, makes the right decision.
The foul is on McLeod. Ollie returns. Fair leaves, and Donyell Marshall back to the line. He was 6 out of 6 in the first half. Look at those numbers the last 3 times he's been here. One of the things he spent a lot of time working on during the summer, he was outstanding for the USA team. He spent a lot of time working on his foul shooting.
And the pro scouts went up to Seton Hall to watch that team play. P.J. Klisman was the head coach. And they all came away saying, hey, this young man is it. He's got the whole package.
And he has just tied the Big East single game record. We still have 8 minutes to play. Had the terrific 26-point first half. McLeod's got a 3 on the way and no good. Willingham the rebound.
His nickname, Boo, by the way. We've heard that, but we don't have the nickname.
Sheffer with a 3. Picks his spots. Double figures with 10. Coming off a career-high 25-point game last weekend.
See the flexibility Calhoun has, though. He puts Ollie in his...
Here's a steal.
Hold
on. That breaks the record.
Hello, Penn Station. He may drag you down.
A 9-0 run, just as it looked like St. John's was going to climb back in the game. Beckett rims it out. Donnie Marshall threw it into the hands of Mo Brown. He shoots and scores. It's a 2.
Just 2. They had it to 9. I mean, it's amazing.
Well, you talked about them exploding and scoring in a hurry, and they have done that.
With Ollie at the point, Sheffer is a stroker on the wing. We also got Donnie and Donyell.
Willingham at the foul line. It's his own rebound and has it blocked, but a foul is called.
Eric Brown with the scrape, but boom. You're in trouble when you shoot it and it comes back to you.
That's right.
That distance, but he was alert and a blow for the All-American.
The player of the year in the Big East Conference. He might be the player of the year in the country before it's all over.
Here, Glenn Robinson. Every time you see one, you say, well, he's it. Today, he's it.
Well, he has been terrific today. Allen kept it alive and then was fouled.
On a missed free throw, the slow reacting Johnnies. Nobody squeezed.
Allen will go to the line for a pair. We have 6 minutes and 40 seconds remaining. Don't forget the action coming up tonight. The tournament continues. The last 2 quarterfinal games this evening. Nice roll for Allen. Here's Sergio Luke. And Charles Mindlin to the bench. Mindlin had a strong first half, scored 10. He has 7 in the second half, a total of 17. Player of the year in South Carolina. 8 points for Ray Allen. 80-62 with 6:40 to play. Back after a word from your local station. Daniel's party, 81-62 the score, and he is just smashing every record you can think of.
While taking it to the rack, he's strong. Send it in, regaling his followers. I believe, and I'm sure they do too.
Absolutely. The kind of day he has had, 40 points. We want to send along our best wishes to Randy Smith of the Manchester, Connecticut Journal. He underwent heart surgery. He's in St. Francis Hospital. He'll be the dean of this great press corps that Connecticut has. So
very well thought of, and hopefully he'll be good. And anything's possible if you get up and do your exercise and diet right.
Well, we wish him a speedy recovery, and we know he'll be back on the Connecticut trail as soon as he possibly can. Here's Beckett off the glass and good. That's 10 points for Beckett after scoring 12 last night.
Getting it low. They didn't get enough of that earlier.
And Danielle Marshall is going to return. So him reporting to the scorers table.
What an explosive club, though, John, don't you feel?
Yes.
I mean, they can lull you a little bit.
Sheffer.
Pretty.
To Marshall. He missed it. Luke the rebound.
Didn't really explode up. That's what cost on him. But the look, the touch by Sheffer.
Three-pointer. Rims out. Donnie Marshall the rebound.
Everybody runs the floor with these guards.
Three-pointer. Rims out. Now Mo Brown will start back for St. John's. 81-64. 5.5 to play. Luke's got a 3 on the way. And good.
That's his game. Open shots.
5 points for Luke. Lead is 14.
You mentioned Mo Brown. He's been sound. I mean, he hasn't done anything wrong. Just the size has won out thus far.
Three-pointer. Spins off. Allen scrambling for the rebound with Luke. It'll be Connecticut basketball as Danielle Marshall will return. Against St. John's this year, in 3 games, Danielle is shooting 64% from the field and averaging 37 points a game.
And getting to the free throw line with great success.
What has he made? 33 straight now here in the Garden?
And 31 against the Johnnies. So
here's Allen. Baseline jumper. Luke the rebound.
Here come the Johnnies again. They're hanging around.
The 3 rims off. Nice reverse bending. Tip try no good. And Allen with the rebound. Donnie and Danielle Marshall are in along with Sheffer, Allen, and Ollie. Derek Brown, Mo Brown, Sergio Luke, McLeod, and Beckett. Sheffer a 3. 13 for Daron Sheffer.
He's set up so wide that the post pass is there if they go out and play him. So they didn't go out and play him. He'll take the shot. They just respond to what you give them.
Well, he's a 43% three-point shooter, 50% field goal shooter.
Got the steps.
One too many by Rashawn McLeod. We have a timeout with 3 minutes and 55 seconds remaining. UConn comfortably in front. Garden. It is a garden party for Donyell Marshall. Some other scores from the ACC. Virginia knocking off Maryland, and Missouri keeps rolling. They beat Colorado.
What a scare for them.
Duke is leading Clemson. They're in the second half. Georgia ahead of #1 Arkansas, but that's early. Nebraska, Oklahoma battling out there in Kansas City. We're in New York City for the Big East Tournament, 1994. Here comes Sheffer. Tried to go to Marshall, was knocked away. Now Beckett with it. He comes down the lane and rolls it in.
Nice crossover. Once again, exhibiting that desire.
Second straight game he's had double figures. He had 12 last night.
I'm impressed with them sticking to it. I mean, not easy when you see a guy like Marshall having that kind of game. Nice step in by D. Brown.
That's rejected by Allen. And Brian Mahoney is up in disbelief. Here comes Ollie. Pulls up for the jumper and drills it.
I think that one was on the way down. You see, went up so early.
And a technical?
On Donnie Marshall, they got a tee. You mentioned how he gets involved in stuff. Now, this one, he went up so early that I thought it was... You agree or no?
I agree, yes.
This might be the better angle. This is the one we had. Yeah, see, that's coming down. And the only thing is, they may have said it wasn't going to reach the goal. Jimmy Calhoun, not a happy guy because Donnie Marshall got involved in some extracurricular nonsense.
And picks up a technical foul. It will be Derek Brown. He does not get the roll on the first. Normally an outstanding free throw shooter. He's only 1 out of 3 this afternoon. St. John's will get the ball on the side, down by 16 points with 3 minutes and 3 seconds of basketball left.
What did he say?
Derek Brown. Now we're going to call a technical foul on Derek Brown. Because, and here's why. He came over to you and said, Raph, that was goaltending, right?
Oh, I thought he said Sergio.
No, he was talking to you.
I'm in the middle of a dilemma here, huh?
Well, you've been in the middle, thanks to him.
Story of my life.
Yeah, Kevin Ollie coming over now to find out if we're all right, you know? It was a half an hour ago.
Well, now he thinks they have the game in control. So he can concern himself with others. The humanitarian aspects of Kevin Ollie.
The next time he misses a free throw in this building will be his first. Now that turns that all around because the technical foul was called on Brown. And he was asking you, Billy, if it was goaltending. You'd already confirmed you thought it was. The unfortunate part that Jim Burr was listening to that conversation.
I'm just here to have a good time, enjoy the games, the ability of the players.
88-70. We've had just about everything today.
Oh, it's been a while. Well, it started with the Midland skirmish, huh?
Right.
The cheerleader falling. It was fine from what we've seen.
Sheffer gliding, misses the shot. Here's Donnie Marshall. McLeod got a piece of him.
And Sheffer kept it alive enough for Donnie Marshall to get the basketball.
That would be number 5, I think, isn't it? On McLeod. He'll lead with 13 points.
Good summer for Rashawn.
He had 9 in the second half. Fouls out with 2 minutes and 33 seconds to play.
He puts the effort in the offseason. He will be a different guy this year. Confidence that he'll get minutes. Fresh outlook. He'll be one of the guys that Brian Mahoney will be looking for to assist him.
Donnie Marshall had missed only 10 free throws in the Big East during the regular season. He's missed 3 today.
And he's missed a couple of open jumpers and maybe a little bit pumped. You know, you start the second stage of the season and don't relax on your stroke.
Lyson in the ball game for the first time for St. John's.
Good shooter out here. Nice post pass by him too. The kiss.
Off the glass and good. Fred Lyson, who started a lot of games last year, his playing time has gone the other direction this year. Did not play last night, for example. The Huskies taking plenty of time. They're in no hurry.
Salting this one away, huh?
They'll be here for the semifinal matchup against Providence tomorrow. But there's more quarterfinal action to come tonight, so stick with us. It'll all be right here.
Talk about a guy next year. You mentioned Ray Allen. Good jumps. That's what they do beautiful. Oh, they got it all.
Just did, yes. Double figures for Allen. He's got 10. He's averaging 11 a game. 91-72. That matches the biggest lead, and Green nails a 2. 6 points for Lee Green. 1:20 to go in the game. Now Ollie off the lane with a jumper. Here comes Donyell Marshall. He misses. Scramble to get it back. Allen up, in.
Now you're sitting at home saying, what's Donyell Marshall doing out there? They haven't had a stoppage of play. They've been trying to get him out for at least 2 minutes.
That'll be foul number 4 on Donnie Marshall. He's going to leave. Also checking in is Rudy Johnson. And Marcus Thomas will check in. The ovation begins for Donyell Marshall. The last time he was in this building, he scored 42. He scores 42 today.
Got to improve in life. Can't get stuck on numbers. Well, the smiles to the winners. Jeff Calhoun, the only homegrown product. How about that? If I'm reading my notes correctly, Jeff Calhoun?
Yes. 11 states and 1 foreign country involved in making up that roster. For Donyell, 42 points. He hit 15 of 19 from the field, and he was 10 of 10 at the line. Capped it off with 9 rebounds.
Do you know what that chant was?
No, I couldn't.
It's something we do in our business. 1 more year. They want him to stay.
Right, yeah.
Just give me 1 more, please.
Here's Johnson jamming it home. Rudy Johnson from Florida gets 2. 95-75. Minlin will go to the line. He was sandwiched from front and back.
His personality fits right in the team concept, though. Jimmy's does as well, but Donyell's overall approach, I mean, his demeanor is subdued. He just doesn't exhibit the cockiness or the nonsense that we start to see in American sports of late. You know, the condescending.
Actually, he says he's very shy for the most part.
Well, we're going to find out, huh?
Yeah, you're going to find out as soon as this game is over. Minlin has fought the battle, as he did last night in scoring 22. Hits that one and has 19 this afternoon. Look for big things from Minlin next year. This is Marcus Thomas.
And we're getting gun shy.
I know it.
From Lyson upstairs. Got to protect the basketball.
That's an interesting point, though, about Kevin Ollie. He didn't come over to inquire about your health until the game was safely in hand.
It's like coming into a country after it's been decimated and saying, gee, I hope everything's all right. You know, years later.
St. John's will have it. 95-77. From start to finish, an outstanding performance by a great team.
And before the game was at Alabama, what do you think is that they are so good, and Al's the assistant to Brian, that you've got to do everything right and to respond to you. I just felt and talked to some people, they are a #1. Now, If they lose, there could be some slippage because Missouri's standing there, for example, if they go through their tournament.
Luke runs it down. There's a steal.
Hold on again.
This is Johnson. 97-77. Knocked away from Minland. Lee Green steps up. That'll do it. A 20-point UConn victory, 97-77. And it was Donyell Marshall's day. He matched his career high with 42 points, and it was a buzzsaw for the Redmen this afternoon.
Not easy to deal with. Talented team.
We'll be back to the Garden after this.
Donyell Marshall walk into the room with his brother, his mother, his family is here. We're waiting to hear the announcement. You find it hard to believe that his family would make the trip up from Reading, Pennsylvania this morning if, in fact, they would announce that Donyell is coming back for another season here at UConn. Let me step out of the way because they're about to announce, as Jim Calhoun is moving over to the podium, Tim Tolikin from the University of Connecticut is about to get this news conference started where Donyell Marshall will announce whether he is staying or is going to the pros. Let's
I'd like to
listen
thank
up.
everyone for coming out and thank the Marshall family for coming up from Reading. At this time, I'd like to call on Donyell, who has some comments to make. And again, the exercise will be Donyell make some comments. We'll throw it open for questions. And then Coach Calhoun will have some comments. So, Donyell.
I have decided to forgo my senior year. I feel it's a great opportunity for me. It was also a dream that I had, you know, as a youngster growing up, and I just feel this is a very good opportunity that I feel that I can go out and grab right now and succeed very positively in the NBA. It was a very hard decision to make. I miss my teammates, coach, you know, especially Jeff. We were very close roommates for 3 years. And it was a very tough decision to make, and I think that's why it took so long. But I feel very comfortable with the decision I have made. I just feel I'm ready to move on.
Donyell, when did you make the decision that you would in fact leave?
I had talked to Coach yesterday. I talked to my mother last weekend, and thought about it long and hard after we had talked yesterday. And you know, we was in the meeting. I had made my decision in the meeting, and that we just made it final.
Donyell, how many people were involved in helping you to make this decision, and what would you say would be the key factor in deciding this?
Well, Coach was a key factor. My mother, my father, Don Juan, my assistant coaches, my coach, my teammates. You know, they were very supportive of me with my decision, and I think the deciding factor was where I just felt I was ready, and my teammates just felt I was ready also, and just the support they gave me made me make my decision easier.
How did you fill out the NBA as far as finding out where you thought you might be drafted and whether or not this is the time to go?
Well, Coach has been doing a lot of research through the whole year, and you know, I've been in the same position.
Foregoing his final year of college eligibility here at UConn, and will be putting himself eligible, making himself eligible for the upcoming NBA draft in June. We'll have more.
Donyell was a key part of UConn's hot basketball team, a team that took us from the Big East regular season title to the NCAA's Sweet 16. What a season Donyell brought us. Now he's offering his talent to the NBA for the big money the pros appear to be promising. Harvey Smilovitz begins our team coverage of Donyell's decision. Our big story tonight. Harvey joins us live from the UConn campus in Stores. Harv?
Well, Don, I had talked to Donyell, and he said that finances were not a major decision in his decision of turning pro. He just said the timing was right. He felt it was the thing to do. And quite frankly, there was nothing left to accomplish here at UConn. He had broken all the records. He had done everything that had been expected of him at the beginning of the season, let's say. And at today's news conference, Donyell told us all what will happen next season.
I have decided to forgo my senior year. I feel it's a great opportunity for me. It was also a dream that I had, you know, as a youngster.
Ending season with the Huskies, Daniel had thought about his decision long and hard and said he's excited to face a new challenge coming up. Everyone in Connecticut, of course, had an opinion whether he would stay or whether he would go. But the one that really mattered was his family's.
Very excited. I'm glad it's over with. It's been a long year, you know, and I'm just finally glad that it's done and over with.
That, of course, Danielle's mother, Stephanie Marshall, excited that her son is entering the pros. Don, back to you.
Any speculation, Harvey, about what team might be looking to pick him up?
Well, we had heard that the Boston Celtics were interested in Danielle Marshall. Of course, they're going to be a lottery pick now that they are not going to be in the playoffs in the NBA, so they have a shot at him. But I think it all has to do with timing and who has what pick, so all that's going to be sorted out. But you can bet when the 4th or 5th pick is announced, Danielle's name will be up there.
All right, let's hope he goes that high. Thank you, Harvey. Well, it was a hot season, needless to say, for Mr. Danielle Marshall.
And a hot season for basketball fans. This last season brought Connecticut the kind of exciting play that got fans back in the game. Games were often sold out, and UConn's ticket was a tough one to get. Danielle Marshall was part of the team, but he was a big player in the hearts of fans. For reaction, let's go to a favorite fan hangout, Coaches in Hartford, where reporter Greg Coy continues our team coverage of the big story. Greg, fans had to be expecting this.
Well, Jenna, they certainly are, and I would have to say that it didn't catch them much by surprise. I was standing here, as a matter of fact, a couple of weeks ago when the season ended in Miami. Among a sea of humanity, everyone was leaving as the game ended, and a lot of them were asking themselves, the big question was whether or not Danielle Marshall would leave. And tonight, I think he answered them, not to their surprise, but to their disappointment.
It was a very tough decision to make.
The announcement was extremely difficult for many UConn fans to listen to. Danielle Marshall will hang up his Huskies uniform. He'll not return next year to perform the magic on the hardwood.
I think it's a great opportunity for Danielle Marshall. I mean, if I was offered that as a college student, I think I would take it.
I think it would have been good for the team if he had stayed. And like Warren said, I kind of wish him well. If I was given the opportunity to turn pro, well, if I had the talent, I would have done it.
You have a once-in-a-lifetime chance to do something, and you think you can do it, go for it.
There was much praise for Danielle and little criticism about his decision. But there are those who wonder if he has the inner strength to make it in the NBA.
Because they're going to miss him a lot. They needed him a lot. Are you keeping count here?
Yeah, 5, 6. You think he should have stayed?
Well, the way I saw him play in the playoffs, I don't know if he completely matured yet.
Danielle is leaving UConn and his fans for the money. But one young fan says he should have stayed, not for basketball, but for the very reason why many students go to college.
I think that he should just, stay in college and get his degree and then think about playing basketball later on.
Why do you say that?
Because it's like the only time you could get a chance to get your education, and later on in life it's going to be harder for you to get your education and stuff like that.
I think the big question tonight for a lot of UConn fans is what to do now in the post years after Danielle Marshall, whether or not the team will be that strong. Janet?
Yeah, and do you think the fans will continue to flock to the games, Greg?
I certainly expect so. You know, Danielle Marshall certainly was a big player, but there are a lot of good players on that team, and I think the Civic Center and the other arena up at UConn will always sell out. And if they don't, there'll be plenty of people like myself who'll be more than willing to take their tickets. Reporting live from Coaches, I'm Greg Coy. Back to you, Janet.
Okay, thanks, Greg. Well, big story coverage of Danielle's decision couldn't be complete without a look at the player who captured our imagination during this long, cold winter.
Well, before we move on, let's take a moment to savor what Danielle Marshall brought to UConn's game this season. A look at a rare player in our midst.
He's just a wonderful kid, and I just think that he's a wonderful, wonderful player. I think he's one of the best players in the country, and I think he's got a chance to be the best player in the country.
Yes, he is.
He's the best player in America. The sky's the limit, the limit, the limit. The sky's the limit.
Grandmom's his biggest fan.
Danielle's biggest fan, his mom. We'll move on to other news now, but this is not the end of Danielle's decision. As Harvey pointed out, there's still a question of where he might be going in the NBA, and there's a slight chance, a very slight chance, that he could still be back with UConn next year. Now, Harvey will explain that. He'll have the rest of the story coming up in sports in about 15 minutes.
Decision to leave UConn 1 year early consider this. What could Daniel possibly accomplish next season that would improve his bargaining position? Win the Big East Player of the Year award by an even more unanimous vote? As we told you earlier in the news, Marshall ended months of speculation this afternoon by announcing that he would forego his senior year and enter the draft. So what does Daniel's departure mean for Coach Jim Calhoun? Well, for one, it leaves a huge scoring void. Marshall averaged 25 per game. But it also means there is now a scholarship available.
Everybody said, well, I'm sure you have another Danielle Marshall lined up. Yeah, he's right around the corner. Howie, pick him up in another half an hour if you can, please. Get him going. Weight training starts at 4. Get that guy. Player X. So there really wasn't a solution. And quite frankly, and I'll be very candid with you, I think in September and October, as we were planning our recruiting, we didn't necessarily see a hardship situation. Certainly by January, February, we certainly saw one.
Marshall leaves Gamble Pavilion with more than a dozen school records and scores of memories. And while Daniel is leaving, Kentucky coach Rick Pitino is staying.
And bypasses final year of eligibility with the UConn Huskies. Marshall, who had struggled in UConn's final game in the tournament, led the Huskies to a 29-5 record this season while averaging more than 25 points per game.
It was a very hard decision to make. I miss my teammates, coach, especially Jeff. We were very close roommates for 3 years. And it was a very tough decision to make, and I think that's why it took so long. But I feel very comfortable with the decision I have made. I just feel I'm ready to move on.
Daniel Marshall made the most out of his final season at UConn when he became the Huskies' unquestioned go-to guy, improving his scoring by 11 points per game over his first 2 years at Storrs. He also saw considerably more playing time, going up from 29 minutes per game in his first 2 seasons to 34 minutes per game this year. Well, the NBA's